The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or Ragin 2 Promotion.
Well, good morning. I was expecting a bump, but apparently we don't have any. Morning. Welcome to Sketchy Saturday, the in-your-face Saturday morning sketch show. How are you doing? I'm C. Michael Lanning. Let's get started. We'll just go around the room, talk to people, what they're doing, who they are, and where we can find them. Let's start with you, Rodney.
Hey guys, I'm Rodney Fyke. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Rodney Fyke Arts, or you can go to the Hasm YouTube channel. That's HAZZUM on YouTube and check out videos there. Or you can go to hasm.com and check out all of our books such as Peanut Pudding and Jelly, Unchained, Pitter Patter, and Roadkill Rampage. Today I am working on doing my gray tones on my werewolf from London that I did Thursday night on Thursday Night Throwdown.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go kind of out of counterclockwise here. MarV. How are you doing, sir? Why don't you tell us who you are and what you're working on?
Greetings, sinners. I'm MarV. I'm the creator of The Sim Killer, and I'll be just sketching a page today for Michael Hunter of Men, the second chapter of my miniseries, The Sim Killer. So, yeah, let's have some fun today.
All right. And of course, Mr. John Celestri. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Good morning. I'm John Celestri. I'm a comic book creator, but I'm also an old school animator from back in the day. Animated Boba Fett and Star Wars Holiday Special and a whole bunch of other things. But I'm working on my comic book series, Bloodwing Angel Chronicles. And we're going down to the last 3 days, 2.5 days of on the Kickstarter. So, and I'm drawing a page from the next book, book 4. Kickstarter right now is for book 3. I'm working on book 4.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess I need to go ahead and do my dues here. Of course, I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist, host for Dispatches from Outside the Box right here on the Indie Comics Network on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., where we, got to say the tagline, guys, sorry, where we scour the corners of geekdom to inspire you to create outside the box. Today, I am working on a project for Hasm Productions by Mr. Rodney Fyke. This is the cover for the upcoming Doghouse.
Yes.
So we're really excited to get into that. So anyway, and of course we got a comment. Fast Crow. I can't do it, man. Hey guys, how are you doing? Oh, and also Mike Jimmy's coming in. He's having some connection problems, so he might be in and out. Mike,
hey,
can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I can. Sorry, guys. Things moved. I was trying a new location, but it wasn't working yet. So, hey everyone, I'm Mike Jimmy the Bruin of Fairies and Ants, creator of La Fancora. And yeah, that's about it for today. I'm all over the place.
What you working on? Are you working on Life on Cora number 5?
Yep. This is number 6, page 23B.
All right, awesome.
So this is going to be my afternoon.
Oh, looks like we all smart. Well, I'm sure he'll be back. And of course, and there's old Mr. Glenn B. Fleming. Morning, Glenn. He says, "Fellas, what's happening, Glenn?
What's going on, Glenn?" Morning?
So anyway, last week we talked about composition and instinctual and everything. One thing, I guess, when I was younger, we used to have these books, right, on how to draw, but not how to draw, but how to draw blankety blank, like how to draw Andy Cap, how to draw, the Universal monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of blame these books for giving us, and I'm not saying I do now, I'll talk, but let me get your take on this. I kind of blame these books for us expecting a step-by-step on how to draw versus using that instinct to actually draw. Like, because if you look at it, you draw a circle, draw this, draw that, draw this, and so when you come into art, you kind of you start thinking of it in an analytical sense, where you want to break everything down into steps, and that doesn't always work.
Oh no, yeah, okay, in that way.
Yeah.
I think when you're drawing, if you think in terms, there are two ways of looking at how to draw. Are you drawing shapes, or are you drawing forces or energy?
Exactly.
And there are two different ways of doing it. Now, I come from the animation school of drawing energy, and then the energy then is then you place the shape and form on top of that energy. So that allows you to be able to say, okay, this energy will work with this form and shape, and then it will work with some other form or shape. And that we talk about design and faces and things of that sort. But if you understand energy and draw those forces, then you could do any kind of pose. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
How about you, Rodney? What do you think?
I kind of agree with John. I don't know what school I belong to other than
just draw.
Well, I mean, it's I know how I want the page to flow. So what I try to do is I try to take the figures that are going to be on that page, and I will very loosely, I'll get my gesture drawing, which is my flow and my energy, like John said, and then I will layer on top and build it up, and that's usually what I do. And since last week, I have kind of jump back into the golden ratio and just kind of brushing up on stuff like that and the thirds and all that stuff, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Right. Well, we're always trying to brush up on our crafts and improve ourselves. So I spent a great deal of last night just kind of looking at all that stuff, and while I was writing on a script for somebody, and trying to lay out thumbnails for a story that I'm working on. So it's just that's my 2 cents.
Right. RV. We lose him again? Oh, we lost him again.
We lost him again.
But Glenn says, use the eyes. I have 2 or 3. Oh, good. He's talking about how to draw books. I have 2 or 3 how to draw that I have not even opened, much less read. An artist should draw from life. And Facebook user, Energy First, love it. Hey, Facebook user, if you come over there to YouTube, we'll be able to see who you are, man. Let's come over there and join us in that chat. And
don't be shy.
We don't bite. Trust me. We're too busy drawing to bite.
We can't get through the screen. That's why. My phone, MarV says my phone's interfered again, but I'm back. Ted Davies is here this morning. Morning, Ted. Good morning, artists.
Hey, Ted, how we doing?
And of course, Glenn's telling the same thing. Come over to you. Came over to YouTube. Yes. And of course, Mar says, "Sorry, bad connection." That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I used to get those books all the time. Just and I would like drawing the little monsters and make little Halloween ornaments that I'm sure my mother was supportive as far as that, but I'm sure I got on her nerves with the little cutouts and everything I used to paste all over the house.
Yep.
So is cute. You're lying, but I like it. But the thing about those are, I think I've heard Jim Lee talk about this before. When he started drawing when he was younger, he would just start drawing a hand and then draw out from there. And he never really cared about the structure. He didn't like doing that. He didn't like the skeletons and the stuff like that. When you draw the structure and all that. And then, of course, when he wanted to be serious about art, he started learning all that and putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
And now he doesn't need it as much anymore. I think it's a real big example of learning the rules and then bending or breaking them.
Yeah, once you master the rules, I mean, you can do with them as you please because you know the basics. Like, you know why it works, so you can make it work in your own way. And a lot of our teachers really hate that. Did I drop out again? Am I having issues?
No, you're good.
Oh, really? Oh, great. Because once in a while, you guys just drop out for some reason, and I can't see anything. So just making sure. Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I'm not hearing or seeing you guys.
Huh.
Oh.
So yeah. This is weird. Sorry, guys, but I think the internet is just not working for me today.
Oh, he can't hear us, huh?
No, you can't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Because we can hear you.
We can hear you perfectly fine and see you.
Yeah.
That's weird because the other way around is the problem. Like once in a while, you guys just drop out and robot out. So I think it's a download issue, not an upload issue.
Those pesky connections.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Anyway, yeah, that's just we'll get through it. We just draw our ways through. But but anyway, but with that, those books didn't really teach me how to think about drawing. They taught me their step by step on how to put shapes together, but it didn't click to me that that's what I was doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Well, it depends. See, I have there's a curious thing. When I was being introduced to drawing and such, I'm from a different generation. There's so many different books that came up that you are looking at that I never, it didn't come across for me because I didn't need to do that. I was already in the business and working. So I don't know what you're looking at, but I would say that for any serious person or any artist who's serious about drawing, whether they want to be a what's the word, whether it's for hobby or actual, you want to become an artist and understanding how to put figures together and how to approach drawing. There's a book called by Nicolaides, and it's the Natural Way to Draw, and that's if I can step out, I can grab the book and I'll show it to you. Okay, so I'm just going to go and step out right now. Let's see, how do I show myself here? Yeah, okay, there you
go. And while he's doing that, I'll let him do that first. But yeah, because I don't know if you remember, I used to pick it up from the school libraries all the time. And Rodney, you might remember these. They always have like draw 50 characters, and it's all different types of characters, and they give you like a step-by-step on it.
Yeah, they had the animals from the African continent, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I would look at those, and for me, it was too simplified because I'm just a pull it out of your head kind of guy, you know. And again, for me, it's all about the flow and the motion and stuff. So, I always tried to do like these really dynamic poses and stuff, and those only taught you, you know, straight on
Right.
shots or a simple 3/4 shot or a profile. And I always wanted to do, you know, I took the camera and tilted it up or tilted it down and do all these dynamic poses. So that wasn't teaching me anything about any of that, foreshortening or any of that. So yeah, I think, like John said, it might have been just a little too basic for me. But it served the purpose for people that weren't as advanced. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it did though. That because it shows you step by step, but now when I go to an art book or whatever, I have to fight myself to realize. Or like take art tutorials, for instance. And honestly, when you look at like art tutorials, especially on YouTube, I really think it's important. They should have a tutorial on how to take a tutorial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the issue comes in where I've heard it many times where they said, let me say this, I'll put John up to show the book, where they've said, oh, you could do this. Now, I don't really normally draw like this, but this is how you do that. It's like, okay, hold on. Let's see what the book. All right, John, I'm going to put you up.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And the thing about it, this book is so old. I bought it off the shelf. Okay, I bought it in 1974, and this is the 25th printing. It was copyrighted in 1941, and they had to renew the copyright in 1969. And this is a hardback book. It's 100, 200 pages, but the paper is so different. The actual price was $6.95. That shows you how old this thing is. But this one is gesture drawing, and basically, it just goes through and gives you exercises of what to do every day.
Here, yeah, I'm put you up.
Yeah,
I did have you up.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm on a very.
It gives you your schedule B. You know, like here's what you're doing here. You know, and so on and so forth. I mean, but the biggest thing for me was the gesture drawing and just not picking up a pencil. You know, not for example, not your whether your brush or your pen. Don't take it off of your page. Just keep on scribbling and moving and molding.
Yeah.
And so this book was recommended to me at my first job by Seamus Culhane, who is a legend or was a legend back, in the early, animation of the first part of the 20th century. So, if you can find the book, and I'm sure you can find a book in some form, it's well worth the effort to go through it and read it at least.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, it's on Amazon right now. They do have it. They have it in stock. It's like $15.29 right now. That's if you want a paperback. They do have the hardcover. And that's a lot of. It's about $30, $40, and they have it on Kindle. Because as soon as you pulled it up, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go find this book.
And it's good. I mean, and it's important to to look at all the material that is available. This is classic material and knowledge. It doesn't make you. You're not drawing comics. You're not drawing some particular style. You're developing your own style.
Right.
By experimenting.
It's building muscle memory.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
let's say good morning real quick, and I'm gonna get it before we get any further in. Morning, Blue Teddy Narrations. How are you this morning? And let's see. I saw somebody else show up. Oh, hey, Nick. Good morning, Nick. How are you this morning, Nick? Of course, Nicholas Anthony Tucker, who does Glenn and Ted have their own show. I can't remember what the name of it is. If you can remember, if Glenn, put that in the chat. And of course, Nick does Never Mind the Furthermore. So go ahead and check them out. And Past Master Dan, it's morning. How are you? And he's asking you, Rodney, is that Michael Landon's Wolfman?
That's Werewolf of London.
And Nick's a wizard watching Past Master Dan says.
Huh?
Anyway, let me see here. So well, exactly, and that book you're talking about, it kind of taught you how to think about, how to go about it instead of the step by step. Because
it's a process. It's a process of thinking. It's a theory of thinking,
right?
That allows you to, move forward and do all kinds of stuff in your and helps you explore your own style and develop your own style. I mean, you can, as soon as you look at something that's very specific, you start thinking that's the way to draw. My drawing should look like that, especially when you're beginning.
Oh yes.
And so I really think that people should just doodle. In fact, that's what you're doing. It shows a classic artist of, it could be medieval times and what have you. And, but what it shows is how their process was.
Okay.
And that's classic drawing. It's not manipulation of shapes. It's manipulation of line and learning how to allow yourself to look and think.
Right. And that really helps out when you're composing a panel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these books, one thing there, has anybody here heard of and you know how great I am at names, the Etherington brothers or the Etherington brothers?
Oh, yeah. That's out of Britain, right?
Yeah.
Great Britain. They've got a lot of, they have a lot of they've done a lot of crowdfunding or self-publishing material, but they've, there's a lot of good books. I don't know how you can get hold of them, but
as you see here, I have one. I have 4.
Oh, okay.
But what the good thing about it is what they did was they started a blog on how to think when you draw. And the issue comes, and what they did was basically they're thinking, okay, you always hear about how to draw anatomy, how to draw, perspective and things like that. But there's other little bits and pieces and stuff, wiring and gadgets and all that it really helps to learn how to think when you're drawing that kind of thing. And that's what they teach you. It's not really like the step-by-step draw a circle. And then there's a little bit of that in there, but it's basically you have to think about it. You're thinking of the contours. You're thinking of, that kind of thing. How when you're drawing snake scales or what have you, and little shortcut tricks and everything. But let's see. Nick's here, impossible. Glenn says. Nick, I am fascinated by the book you're discussing, but came in just after you said the name and author. May I ask for that again? I think it's talking to you, John. What was it?
It's Nicolaides.
Yes, the natural way to draw.
Yes, The Natural Way to Draw by Nicolaides. Take a screenshot of that.
Past Master said, "Woohoo! Werewolves of London." Oh yeah.
There you go.
And this show is always such a masterclass of art and art appreciation. One thing about this,
yeah, why not?
And this is how you learn.
Yeah, you talk. You know, you get work done. Get your credibility.
Okay, so we talk about that line and that energy and everything. But here's what I'm going to ask this question. How can you apply that to perspective when you're dealing with settings and buildings and things like that? Because we're talking about static objects. Do they have their own energy?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, but yeah, you're breaking up really bad.
Oh, somebody, he's just, he's starting back in. He's popping back in.
He's popping back in. There we go.
MarV.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey, awesome.
Still here, guys.
Okay, so did they hear the question that he posed?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When we're talking about lines and energy. Echo. But when we're dealing with static images or perspective, like buildings and settings, how does that apply?
Ooh, that is
Dynamic.
So the way to do that is to perspective you can. So if a 1 point perspective, instead of the street being straight, with
Oh no, did we lose him?
Okay, I'm hearing there's a breakup of there's a lot going on here. I don't know if StreamYard is created a problem or what's happening.
yeah.
I mean, some of us are working okay, are connecting. I can see Rodney.
Yeah,
but,
I can see everybody.
Michael is just breaking up and freezing.
Yeah.
And
Rodney,
I think
can you
this
hear
is
me?
StreamYard.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think this is StreamYard. Yeah, my phone popping you guys in and out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, you're popping in and out real bad.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's the phone. Same with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what. Fine.
anyway, I can. You can hear me though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't see me, right? We'll be all right.
I can see you.
I can see you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean about moving or
The
whatever.
problem, but
Anyway, but okay.
yeah.
I know one thing. How close do you follow those perspective lines?
Well, I think if you're trying to give something a little bit of energy, you got to go off graph just slightly, whatever direction your flow is in that particular panel.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is something that I kind of struggle with because I am so rigid with my perspective and getting everything right, and my graphic design element kind of comes in and takes over, and I'm like, no, you got to loosen up. You got to, you got to flow. You got to get off the graph a little bit, and so that's a bit of a struggle for me. So,
well, let's be honest.
Perspective for me is just I play with it all the time. I mean, in terms of just saying, okay, what will work? I think in terms of a camera lens, okay, and sometimes you can do fish eyes. You could you could do just play around things that where you want the viewer, your reader, to see. I don't worry about the perspective, exactly. I don't do 3-point perspective. I eyeball everything.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to, it's supposed to be fun. And if you're trying to be realistic, that's one thing. But if you're trying to just be naturalistic and just say believable, the believability is how well your reader can understand the point that you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't worry about the perspective and this should be this way and this should be that way. I don't care. I don't think it's necessary to be realistic that way.
Yeah, I have to agree, and that's kind of what I've decided to do is just as long as it's believable to the eye and close enough, then it's just because I just want to I struggle with what I want my backgrounds to look like and stuff, so I've kind of surrendered to that. Well, let's just make it fun and let's just make it flowy and kind of, I go and I study how other people do their stuff and kind of lean it one direction or the other, and so yeah, that's I've surrendered to that. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I think we are talking about art and not photography.
Right.
Yes.
And you can always play with the elements also to help that dynamic with the perspective. Some leaves or gliding, something like that. That can, if I can get right, if I can't get a form or a perspective right on a panel, I always try to distract the viewer with some elements, dust or leaves or whatever, just to keep the eye distracted and not being so critic on the drawing itself. So that helped me a lot.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes if you take a picture and you take a picture of buildings, and let's say you want to draw those perspective lines from, to the horizon line, you're going to find that those buildings don't all meet on that same perspective point, on that same vanishing point. So in real life, you don't have it's not all, straight and as they have you. And I think one thing, like one of those books said, sometimes following that perspective rigidly can hinder your work more than it can help it.
Yeah, and it's done that a lot to me. And going to your point where it doesn't do that in the photos and stuff. The world, the world bends. It's not. We don't live on a flat Earth, so.
Really?
Whoa, controversial, Rodney.
Oh, that's right. We weren't supposed to talk about that. But no, it's kind of the fishbowl effect or whatever you want to call it. It's everything bends, and so, and I for years I just, it didn't dawn on me that okay, you're being too anal about the stuff, and you just need to let it flow with everything else. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Anal? Oh, that's bad.
Past Master Dan says StreamYard shits itself
That's
frequently.
bad.
Brown Dog, how's it going, Eric? Sketchy Saturday.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cameron Pan saying artwork on here is amazing as always. Absolutely. Let's see.
Aw.
Glenn weighs in on this. If your perspective looks right, it probably is right. So,
Well, no, but
I think it still boils down to are you communicating what you want to communicate?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all communication, and I think it's if you're going to sacrifice that communication just to get the right perspective, well then a lot of times that perspective hides the point you're trying to you're making. So just use X-ray vision or telescopic vision and just get out of your own way.
Yeah, right. Nicholas says, I like to apply a fisheye lens, Dutch angles to make the motion or attitude. Think how static Spider-Man is when web slinging and the distortion to the surrounding buildings. Yeah. Postmaster Dan says formally flat. You started a ruckus,
we
Rodney.
realized that.
Great.
Sorry, guys.
And Nick says, thank you for the book recommendation. I found it for about $5 used on Amazon with shipping. They still have a few more copies if folks are interested.
Sweet.
Yes, Nick, if you send me a link to that and a messenger, man, I would more than be grateful. So, Pestmaster Dan says the Dutch needs to take clogs back from the hippies. That's okay.
Hey, I feel called out.
Wait a minute. What? I think that was a good thing, right? I'm not sure.
Hey.
Hilarious. Mike disagrees with me, but agrees with John when he says the same thing as I do. Priceless. Kind of. Everybody, see, that's the thing about art. It's a theory. So, I saw a bit of the Radiant Sign yesterday.
Radiant Sight.
Radiant Sight. Oh, okay.
So Kimi Comics, Kimi Comics is continuing the series, and she's working on it hard. So she's been streaming over 100 Twitch for it.
Oh, cool.
I think. So
is she still working on the second book, or has she moved on to the third one and she's just finishing up?
No. She's working on the second one. No. She barely started on the second one, so. It's it's a slow progress, but quality over quantity.
Right. Absolutely. So how is the comic book selling market out there for you, Mike? I know you were at a con last week. Did that go well, or?
That one went all right. I made my table back and travel costs. Didn't get my hotel back, but honestly, like after 2 years, and the fact that we're in the crisis, where money is getting more and more, like it's getting harder and harder to get by. So it's no miracle that I didn't do better than I did. But it was better than the couple of ones I did before, where I completely wasted my time. So you got to take your wins.
Right.
Is it the economy, or just the site itself? The type of
it's the economy.
The economy, okay.
No, for this one it was the actual economy. Because the previous ones it was totally the location. And I fully blame the organization for that one. But this one was very well organized. It had exactly the audience that I need. But yeah, people just didn't spend as much anymore. And you can't help that. It happens. but it was fun. I had a nice weekend out. And we just made the best out of it. Really, I mean,
there you go.
I had the worst time because I quit smoking that. But whew,
What? No.
What?
That's
Wow.
yeah.
How long have you
I
been?
have not had a cigarette in a single week.
Wow,
Oh,
good
man.
for you.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
He was back there.
That's-
Yeah,
congratulating.
no. I went from 30 a day to 0.
Oh,
I 30 to 0. I had the worst weekend. But I live, and I manage, and I'm keeping my triggers under control. But man, it is getting used to. There's so many moments in the day where I just grab a smoke,
mm-hmm.
and now there's like nothing, and I'm like, how am I going to fill up these 2 minutes of my life?
Yes. The biggest problem I found when I
know.
quit smoking was finding something to do with your hands.
Well, what you should do with your hands
Exactly.
now is you should flip
Exactly.
through that new book that you got, Nicolaides, A Natural Way of Draw.
There you go.
There you go.
It comes back around.
Yes.
Woo. Okay, who is echoing?
But, well, congratulations. That's a hard road. I have been down that road a couple of times, and I can't remember the last time I had a cigarette.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
but
You know, it's really amazing. Like
That is not a bad thing.
25 years ago, you know, the comparison of people that smoke then to the people that smoke now, like almost nobody that I know, very few people smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Or maybe I just live in a square area. I don't know.
well, you also have the vaping.
Yeah,
you have the
Yeah,
vaping thing, yeah.
is becoming a thing, but personally, like I never liked smoking in the first place. But you know, I'm very, very easily addicted. So yeah, like getting rid of it was the worst. But yeah, no, I don't like smoking. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the taste of it. I was addicted. I have too many things that I need to do with my hands in a given day, and this was one of them.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Chance to fill it up
Totally
here.
get rid of it.
Now, we talked about this last week, past Master Dan. Did John used to work for Disney? He looks familiar.
John used to work for Disney. He looks familiar.
No, I never worked for Disney. I worked for Bluth. I worked at Nelvana,
Filmation too,
which
right?
is a Canadian company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, past Master Dan says you need a CBD vape. So you need. So you need money.
No, I don't need anything containing marijuana.
Yeah, it's I didn't. I ended up quitting cold turkey, but that doesn't always work for everybody.
So how long?
No. I had to do cold turkey. If I don't lower, like I that would not work.
not for at least not for the people around you, right?
I quit in 1986.
No, exactly.
Nice.
It was more of a stress release.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can imagine working in the bullpens and the animation departments and stuff. Did they smoke inside?
Oh yeah, when I was, let's see, at Nelvana, you smoked inside. But that's like in the that's pre-19. See, I left there in 82, 83. I was at Bluth's and I was smoking inside, but then I decided to smoke outside. Had Filmation smoked inside. It was, you didn't. Things things changed maybe in the late 80s, but by that time I had quit smoking. But I was living in the Cincinnati, in New England, and whatnot, and cigarette smoke was everywhere. Things didn't change pretty much until until about 1990, and then I remember moving from Rhode Island to Cincinnati, and still with plenty of cigarette smokers because of the tobacco area.
Yeah, we have a saying in Cincinnati on the west side. If you were born on the west side, you were born with a pack of Lucky Strikes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, and an attitude, because you were because that's it. Very different between the east side and the west side.
Oh yeah, west side is definitely blue collar. Street smart.
Very, very, very. What's the word? The Cincinnati Red. Pete Rose. Very Pete Rose.
Yes. Well, he's from the west side. He graduated from Western Hills High School, and yeah.
and that's the west side. The east side is Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, golly, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Man, I've never been a sports person, and mostly this comes. Well, I definitely don't like watching it on television. For me, but like I went to like a baseball game live. You enjoy that,
Yeah.
I'm all in, man.
Yeah.
I'm the big three: football, baseball, basketball.
All of them. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this question, Rodney. So while you're watching, let's say mostly, I guess probably, baseball and basketball would probably be do you find yourself looking at them and it's studying their anatomy?
Sometimes, yeah. Actually, when we were talking about talking about perspective, the other night, the first two games of the National League Championship were in San Diego, and Petco Ballpark is nestled in the Gaslamp district of downtown San Diego, and from home plate, it has the most picturesque, beautiful views of all the buildings and stuff in downtown San Diego, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I whenever I see San Diego on TV, I will stop and watch it just because of the views, because I'm just stupid for architecture. I just love architecture and city skylines and stuff like that. So yeah, I think as artists, we all look at everything through a different lens anyway. So yeah, it's all about, I study the shadows, the extension when they're swinging for the ball. I think about the squash and stretch aspect of things. So yeah, it's constantly. I'm not just drawing in the games. I'm kind of, I don't know if you want to say studying or observing, but it's all there, and I'm conscious of it all. So yeah, it's weird.
Well, what's happened is basically your artist mind is still there. It's all once you get what I find anyway. So mind you, I'm talking from my perspective. So if you don't feel that way, that's cool. But I think your artist mind takes on subconsciously.
Yeah.
After you train yourself to think that way, to look at shapes, to look at shadows, to look at those things.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what helps with the, like, going back to the perspective that we were talking about, and I think that's what Glenn is saying as far as drawing from eye, but Glenn still had to look at. You still have to see something. You still have to have an understanding of that to be able to do that. And honestly, some of the best are some of the things are probably all of them that have clicked for me as far as understanding how to draw something or looking how something works has always been pretty much real life.
Yeah.
Stylized, or if I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I wonder how such and such draws that, I will go look at somebody and see how they drew something, just to kind of get an idea. But even when you're doing that, you're looking at, again, with that artist mind of the shapes and the tone and the energy and that line and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, when you you're looking at what the world, looking around you, the world around you, and that's how you make your decisions. You have to observe, otherwise you're just copying.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, you got a fan, a new fan, John. First, let me go down the line here. Pastor Dan said, "I know I've seen you somewhere before. It's the mustache. I remember that." So, let's see. And he went, "Dang, John, you have a lot pop up in the search engine." He said, "I'm looking at John's IMDb profile, and wow, yeah, that's absolutely." Yeah, he knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
As the production says, "Oh Lord, you have him talking about architecture." Prayers to you. Oh, gosh, well, that just confirmed that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, I admit it. I'm stupid for architecture.
Don't worry, there's two of us.
I don't deny it.
Oh, let's see here. All right. Glenn says, yes, you draw from the eye and then learn why that leg or arm or elephant does what it does. You learn to see what lies beneath the skin, so to speak. This is what John does. He sees the energy of movement. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since we got you on architecture, Rodney, what architecture do you like the best? It doesn't have to be a name, but
I'm really fond of Art Deco.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of obvious because I live in Cincinnati. Art Deco is everywhere in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Especially the train station.
The Union Terminal, yes. Or as comic book folks like to call it, the Justice League headquarters of the Justice League.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. You should see. I mean, the murals and such are just amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we have become a mural city as well in the last 10 or 15 years. There are huge murals on the sides of buildings and stuff all throughout the city. Which is
cool.
Which is kind of cool, yeah.
I know in Bristol they have a ton of those as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. We had an event here last weekend called Blink, and they come into town and they light up all these buildings, and they have all these light artwork and stuff like that, and drones in the sky doing art patterns and stuff. Just really, really crazy stuff, and it drew over 2 million people over a weekend.
Wow.
Well, that is awesome.
And to put that in perspective, that is more than the Cincinnati Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals combined drew in 2021. So that's a huge draw.
I don't understand this math.
Hold on. Oh, Nita said she didn't understand the math. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's talking about Rodney and his sports analogies. That's like, my kids, of course, there was a cartoon years ago called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny, even to me. And he was a scientist, and his dad was a fisherman. Had owned the sardine building. And he would talk to his son, and well, sometimes you cast a reel, but you don't catch a big fish. And his son like, I don't understand fishing metaphors. I feel like that should be a meme sometimes. Like, I don't understand.
Yes. I don't understand your logic.
Past Master Dan said, I'm a big fan of the Craftsman period. Then they figured out how to do it fast, and everything is crap. I'm not sure. That might be.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's
not
connected
wrong
or not. But hey, look, we are getting to a point, and John has to leave us at the top of the hour. John, do you want to go ahead and tell us where we can find you and everything?
Well, you can find me doodling away here. You'll find me on Facebook. It's John Celestri. You'll find me on my YouTube channel. This is John Celestri again. I might as well, since it's easy to Google me that way. So I follow that way. And as I said at the top of the show, I'm coming down to the last 2.5 days of my Kickstarter, my Bloodwing Angel Kickstarter, and so we're good. That's where you can find me.
All right. Awesome.
Excellent.
Great. And of course, we also want to wish him a happy birthday because he did have a birthday this week.
Oh, right. Happy birthday, dude. Here's to many more years.
Yes. 73.
Wow.
27 more to go.
Yeah. Another 73, right? Yeah, right. Okay,
Exactly.
good. Well, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure, and I actually got to do. I finished, the whole page, and that's cool.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
Put it up real quick. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was playing with today. I started off with let's see, where do we go here? Let's go this here with that. Started with that, and so allowed me to get into that.
Nice.
So and so now I'm going to print this out in form and really blow it up to twice the size so that I could really play with it and just and put the shapes correctly in it and get more energy into it. But anyway, that's it.
All right.
All right.
All right.
See you next time, John.
Okay.
See you next time.
Well,
Stay awesome.
see you next week. Take care.
All right, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now it's down to us four. So, Rodney, so y'all are getting ready to send out those Roadkill Rampage 3s, huh?
It's getting close. Yeah, they are. The proofs have been approved, and it is at the printer, and we're just waiting. So everything it's coming down to the wire, and we're pretty excited about it. So yeah, it's on its way. So we're pretty happy.
Cool. So tell me again, who's the artist on Roadkill Rampage?
It is Adam Fields.
Oh, awesome.
And he's got his own book called Prowl, and he's working with us on Roadkill Rampage issues 3 and 4. So yeah, it's he's done an amazing job. He's a great guy. He was with us on Thursday night for Thursday Night Throwdown as we were doing the werewolves. So yeah, very talented guy, very nice guy. So if you guys are not familiar with him, go familiarize yourselves with him. He's a super nice guy. So.
Oh, awesome! And yeah, you talked
Awesome.
about werewolves. So you had that werewolf guy on. What's his name? Oh yeah, Rob Altari, right?
Yes.
I've had some werewolf conversations with Rob. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's very into his werewolves, which is that's there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was funny because he writes, he doesn't draw, so
Mhm.
we were all drawing and talking, and he's like, I feel funny, and I was like, well, you should have just like picked up your keyboard and just started clacking away. we did okay with that.
Well, one thing, especially like even on this show, believe it or not, folks, it's really kind of hard to carry a conversation and draw at the same time.
Oh yes, no, totally. It's the worst.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
so-
hard to do that. And much respect to these guys who were doing the live streams and talking and keeping attention while they're drawing.
Yeah, no,
this thing.
it's awful.
I have everybody here. I can ask you a question and I can sit here and draw and listen to your answers. But a lot of those, like what you do, don't you, Mike, on Home Animation every Thursday?
Yeah, I suck at it. I absolutely suck at it. I admit that I'm awful at keeping a voice up and keep talking and mind myself. And lately I've been very distracted, so my shows have been very short. But yeah, like it's always hard to just be working on your own. Also, I'm just doodling away. I'm abusing my brush pen.
And how
Very
close
nice.
a perspective is that, Mike? I mean,
Not at all. There is not a straight line in here.
That's
and
good.
MarV's out in the dark, working. See, I feel like we're
Yeah,
spying on you, Mar.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wonder how his eyes are surviving.
No, I'm great. Actually, I love to work like this because I'm focusing on the drawing. So, yeah, I don't get distracted by nothing around me. So I can be 100% focused on the.
I mean, I
doing
get
what I have
that,
to do.
but your eyes are going to be so tired by the end of that. Like,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
so
don't
bad.
do that. Yeah.
Glenn,
Yeah.
That
Glenn
is
says
so
you live on
bad
the
for
far
you.
side of the moon.
But yeah, this is going well. This is page 2, and this is going well.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
So, do you prefer complete silence when you're drawing, Mar?
No, I don't. No, I like to hear something. I'm always hearing podcasts, and
Okay.
to relax, I listen to podcasts. If not, I gotta go with some tracks and basically something from back in the day from the 80s, and a lot of Hans Zimmerman.
Oh
And-
yeah. Oh yeah, we
and
did talk
Zimmer.
about that. Huh? Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, yeah. And Alan Silvestri, I love it. And heavy metal, if I have to work hard. One thing, guys, just a question, because I forgot to ask this last show. So when you ink traditionally, then you put the inks, the traditional inks, you scan it or take a photo, but you have to ink all over again everything?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's good.
So I just sketch out I sketch it out digitally, print it out, go over it and render it because I do everything with my dip pen.
Mhm.
And then I just scan it in with a very low threshold, pure black and white. And I sometimes just have to clear up some minor details, but for the most part, Like it's just scanned and it's done. It gets scaled down and it works. It really doesn't take all that much.
Nice, because I thought that we had to redo everything. So.
Oh no! Of course not. I'm not going to redo everything. That would be ridiculous. That I would just do digital. I don't have the time to do everything over again.
Okay.
Glenn's looking at you. Look at Roddy. Paper, pencil, pen, and eraser. Love it.
Oh yeah. I've switched from
Shut up, Glenn.
London to sketch cards.
Right here.
What was I gonna say? I hate that. I had a train of thought going. Oh, the scanning. Well, if you scan it, you scan it in about 600 DPI.
1200.
1200. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they turn out gigantic. And keep in mind, I print out half pages or even 1/3 pages. So this is only half a page.
Okay.
So, and the reason I'm doing it at such a high resolution is because I do pure black and white. So it either picks up a black on the scan or it will be right. There will be no anti-alias whatsoever.
Oh,
And
okay.
when you scale it down, it gets crisper. It gets its anti-alias from being shrunk down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it look clean. Like it's literally black and white, like nothing in between. There is no grayscaling when I scan them, because if I grayscale things, you would see all the little extra lines, every little bit that was sketched, and I don't want that, because that means that I would have to redo everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a headache as it is now. But no, that's interesting. But I was wondering about that, because so basically you'll take half a page, and I'm kind of reiterating what you said.
Yeah.
You'll take half a page, like a comic book page, blow that half up, print it out, put it on the you put it on the light box, or you?
Oh no! I just I print them very very opaque.
Okay.
At like 30% opacity or something. So yeah, what I was showing here, like with this is what I pencil and just put it down to like 30% opacity, and it's gonna be darker on paper anyway, because that's how a screen translates to printing. But I put on a threshold of like 48 out of 255, sometimes even less. And I just want the blacks. I don't want any of the borders. I don't want any of the sketch. I just want the blacks.
Right.
Because I have a very matte Indian ink, I can put such a low threshold on it.
Mm-hmm.
So unless it's pure black, it's not getting picked up.
Oh, cool. See, I like to listen to you about that, because your inking is just phenomenal to me, Mike.
Yeah.
It really is. And when you come down to this printing stuff and scanning stuff, I still it's Greek to me.
It is.
Here's a little comp sketch I did last week because I was bored and people wanted my art.
You did that because you were bored, huh?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was about like 1.5 hours. Look, I was quitting smoking. I had to fill my time.
No, it's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous.
Very nice.
No, my girlfriend walked in just before the stream because I had to move. And she was like, I want you to doodle more often. Like, you get stuff well, keep hanging on. Because if you don't, gravity will kill you. I'm like, what's gravity? Yeah. Just doodle. I like doing doodles.
Wow.
We have a Sibir.
Oh, that's from your webtoon, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No.
Oh, that was more perspective.
More perspective.
Oh.
So bad. Like, it's so off. But that's okay.
I've been trying to practice just putting a vanishing point and drawing to see if I get close to that vanishing point. You know, draw a line towards that vanishing point and then put a ruler on it to see if I make it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But even if I don't all the time, you still have an idea which way it's going. I can live with that.
I don't know if I have a ruler right here, but here we
Okay.
go. Here's my shoulder. This is from the shoulder and the elbow. That's about as straight a line as can. And that way. And that way. And these are good practices too. Let's make a perspective. Let's make a little building. So it's not going to be perfect. I don't care. But we're going to do...
Yeah, the idea will be right.
Let's see. We'll make a little building right over here. Over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. All straight lines. And I'm actually gonna make this into a circle. And this is straight to pen. So like what I put down is there and it's done.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it. Yeah. See? Too close. There we go. This is a circle. Let's drag it out. And we're gonna do the same way up here. So we make a square. And it's gonna be from here to here, and that's the center point. So it's going to be like this. There we go. And that's going to be like so. There it comes. Yeah. And then the circle is going to look like.
Oh, cool.
So.
Yeah.
And these are nice little practices because in the end, like you're going to be looking at this to this. And I'm mostly on center, not entirely, but
right.
This would be, you know, your surface.
Mm-hmm.
You're making me jealous with that pen. I'm not that great with
It feels like I'm blowing.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oh no, they're the worst. They are the worst. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it
Will.
worse. We'll grab a permanent marker.
Will says, "Hail for eggs and peeps." What's up, Will Pace? How are you doing, sir?
Peeps and peeps. How are you doing, Will?
I'm looking at. We're getting the lesson down here, and then Rodney's up here just doing Disney characters. They did a Stitch earlier. So,
yeah. Hang on.
Do those go well? Yeah. Now, look, the fact that you can get such detail, I'm impressed because I have done a couple of sketch cards, and I don't get as precise as you're getting right there. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just repetition, really, because they do sell well, which is why we do them all the time.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been doing a lot because we kind of dwindled our inventory, so I've had to go and replenish our inventory. But hopefully here soon I'll be working on pitter patter pages.
Cool.
Which I'm excited about.
Can I ask how much those usually go for? What's
anywhere from $20 to $40 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Depends on the money, the amount of detail that we put into them. Will determine what we ask for them. The horror cards usually $35 to $40. The Disney cards, the simpler Disney cards are $20, $25. The more detailed ones are $30.
And I have a horror one over here with the color. You can't really theme from a Mr. Rodney Fyke original of Michael Myers.
That's right. And the funny thing is people are kind of shocked at what you charge for them, but we're actually on the low end of what a lot of people charge for them.
Oh yeah. Well, but yeah, my shock was like, oh wow, that's good. It's like,
well, thank you.
Oh, look at this. It's like I need that Stitch and an Experiment 626 to match.
We can.
Which experiment was Stitch?
What's what?
Oh, okay, I see. That's what I thought. I thought Stitch was Experiment 626, and she said it is, but she wants the version of him with the 4 arms. So,
oh, okay. I've done that before. I've done that several times, actually.
Oh, that sounds like a business transaction between you and the producer.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, we can make that happen. No, I believe the correct response is message producer B.
Yeah, right. You know where to go. Yeah, I've thought about doing prints. Selling prints, because I've got a couple of things that they're not fan art, but they're just art, and doing prints. But I don't even know where I would go to print them. Like, because I'll look at the like. Oh. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You still there?
Print on demand is. Oh yeah, no, I'm still here. I think. I hope so.
Yeah, I got you.
Just in case.
Go ahead. You were saying.
Just go for a local printer. Like go for print on demand and just look at making. Like, just look for something local. Go for a 50 print run. See how much that costs per piece, and go to like 4 times what you have to 4 times what you have to pay. Essentially, like for prints, the only thing that matters is what you think is good enough and what the audience is willing to pay for it. And often those things overlap a lot more than you think. And from there, whatever you want, really.
Yeah, and we've cut down a lot on prints, but we would bundle them. You get $15 a piece, or you can get bundle them so they're saving $5 or $10, and they'll usually go for the bundle package instead of a single print.
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you cut back because of they weren't selling as well, or just trying to focus on something better?
A little bit of both. They were necessary at the beginning because they were selling very well, and they were paying for everything else. When we only had 1 or 2 books on the table, but now that we have several books on the table, and I'm doing commissions and constantly drawing at shows, and people are buying the books, and to be honest, we just don't want that print wall behind us anymore. We've cut it down to a couple that we have, and we sell them as we put them on a nice Gisli paper or a watercolor paper, and we sell them at a little higher price, and they're our continuous sellers, and they move, and then everything. Yeah, and we're switching to the minis.
Okay.
The 5x7 sell really well. So we've got. Let me pull the camera back a little bit.
Yeah, here, I'll put you up. Okay.
Hang on a second. Let me set this Tigger card down here real quick, and my pens before I get ink somewhere it's not supposed to be. Let me pull that camera up a little bit. Okay. So these were all sketch cards, and we've blown them up to 5x7s.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Golly, look at that.
and then there's the Frankenstein,
Yeah.
and then there's Leatherface, and then I also did this. Our local zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, has Fiona and Fritz, the hippos, which are huge in this region. So a buddy of ours did a print, and he said it's his best-selling print. So we just figured we'd do a print, and I did that a couple weeks ago. That's all marker on watercolor paper with a little bit of colored pencil on top to get the texture of the hide.
Dang, Rodney.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Dang. But yeah, no, I'm doing exactly the same, Rodney. Like once you get enough books in there, you can fill up your table. Like you gotta start focusing on what you really want to focus on, which most of the time is gonna be your books because where the big money went into. That's where your time went into.
Right.
I don't even bring anymore.
I'll be honest with you. I did a Aquaman print a few years back when that movie was coming out, and it's my fault. I spent way too much time on the detail and the scaling and the shading and all that. And because we thought it was going to be a great thing. All the girls loved Jason Momoa. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great print. We sold 2 the entire show.
Wow.
And we had the original in a frame on the table, and I had somebody walk up to me, and he stood there and he admired it for a couple of minutes, and he looked at me and he asked me if I would take $150 for it. And I wanted to punch him in the mouth, because it's just
exactly
that they have no idea the amount of time that's involved in it, and that's the other thing is it's really hard selling the original art.
Can producer B chime in for a minute too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, part of why he's doing the sketch cards too is when we do comic shows, we are a lot more comic centric, and the books are the priority on the table. But he's doing a lot of these for. Are we getting the echo?
Yeah, Marv. I think you're echoing.
Sorry? What?
I think you're echoing.
Oh. But we're doing these because we signed up for some craft shows. So the books don't spend. It's kind of that whole thing of I look at where our market is and where we're going and what we bring to the show. And when we go to a craft show or the one we're preparing for is a Christmas walk, those people will be looking for gifts. And while we will sell some books there, they just don't sell there. But we can make money off of this stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, great. That's really helpful because it definitely to expand your market.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't. Unfortunately, as much as we would love to, we can't just rely on comic book sales to make ends meet, right?
No.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah. Like, because I want to focus on I'm a publisher. Like that's what I go to shows for. So I don't put down any prints. I'll be drawing, of course. I'll be doing these kinds of things constantly. And I rarely sell originals, but people see me busy, and then I pull them to the other books that I'm putting out there. And I want to focus on those books because, that is where I want people to come back to.
And it's always good to be drawing at shows. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, exactly. Like you got to be drawing, you got to be active.
It's like it's like putting on that bug light. It's they come like moths to a flame.
Yes. Oh, totally. Yeah.
I've done it. It's kind of fun being out there and having people come and look. You think at first, like, I don't want you watching me draw. Like, I got too many problems while I'm drawing now. Don't come look at me.
Oh, I was scared of that a long time ago.
Right? You kind of have to, right? It's just like doing these streams. Just like, oh, I'm an introvert. Not anymore. You're an artist? No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not if you want to.
Yeah, you really can't afford to be. It's you have to.
No,
you got to be yourself.
Yeah, you got to be everything, and it's not fun, but you got to be everything. And if you're tired at the end of the day, well, that's just part of the job.
But anyway, yeah. I'm about to go ahead. Let's find out where everybody's at and everything. We're getting to that point. Marv, why don't you go first this time? Let us know where we can find you.
Well, you can find me here every Saturday, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram on MarV, the Sim Killer. And this week I will get the print run from Mixam, and I will share it as soon as I get it. So stay tuned for that.
All right.
Woo.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Rodney, tell us where we can find you, sir.
All right, guys. Everybody, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Rodney Fyke Art. You can also find me on the Hazm YouTube channel or Hazm.com. That's HAZZUM.com, where you can find our books, Peanut Pudding and Jelly, Unchained, Pitter Patter, and Roadkill Rampage. I also am on the Indie Comics Network on Tuesday nights for Dispatches Outside the Box. We are here every Saturday, and I am also on Thursday Night Throwdown here on the Indie Comics Network, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, with Sean Forney and other invited guests, where we talk nerdy and draw just like here.
All right. Awesome. Sweet. And, of course, Mr. Mike Jimmy.
Well, Mike, you can find me here on the Indie Comics. I'm here.
Okay.
You can find me here on the Indie Comics Network, both on Saturday when I don't have a show, or on Thursdays with Hung on Animation at 1 p.m. Eastern. And right now, you can go over to Kickstarter and find Lavancora Volume 1, which will be launching in January. And we will be putting together all issues out so far in one very, very neat big volume. And the exclusive hardcover that you will be able to get by Jaden Lanning. And there will only be 50 of them. You know that person, yes. I'm pretty sure you made that person together with Nita.
Engineered.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yes, it's very, very amazing.
Yeah, no, I love what she's done. And I'm looking forward to getting that into a hardcover. But they will be signed, they will be numbered, and they will be sketched in. And there will be only 50.
Super awesome.
Oh, yeah, so get it. Get it quick.
Please tell me I'm not cutting out now.
No, you're good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he can't hear us.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good. We got
good.
everything.
Yep.
All right. And I think we just lost him as soon as that happened. I'm telling you. What? And anyway, let me do this real quick. I'm upside down. Look at this. This is professionalism at work, folks. Anyway, of course, I am C. Michael Lanning, and just like Rodney said, you can catch me on Tuesdays on Dispatches from Outside the Box at 8 p.m. right here on the Indie Comics Network. And, of course, next week for another Sketchy Saturday. So, bye.
Take care, everybody.
See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.